Hey everyone, welcome to FlashPoint. On today's FlashPoint, I want us to open the scriptures to 2 Kings chapter 6. 2 Kings chapter 6, and we're going to look at verses 1 through 6. And I believe the Lord's going to highlight some things about how to get your prophetic edge back. Some of you have lost the prophetic edge. You've went through some dry seasons. You went through some dull seasons. And so maybe you're not as sharp as you were in the past times. And maybe your prayer life and maybe your study life is not as sharp as it once was. Maybe you're not hearing as clear as you once have. But I'm telling you, there's good news. There's a way to get your prophetic edge back. So 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 1 through 6. It says, "And the sons of the prophets said to Elisha, See now, the place where we dwell with you is too small. Please let us go to Jordan, and let every man take a beam from there, and let us make a place where we may dwell. And Elisha said, Go. And then verse 3 it says, Then one said, Please consent to go with your servants. And Elisha said, I will go. So he went with them, and when they came to the Jordan, they cut down trees." I want to stop right there for just a minute and talk about prophetic ministry. One of the things about prophetic ministry is sometimes the prophets will release a cutting type word, a word that is pretty sharp, and it'll come and it'll cut and it'll divide some soulish things and spirit from the spiritual things, which we need that. That's healthy, but we can't stop at just a cutting word. Notice they were cutting down trees in order to build, and that has to be our heart and our motive in prophetic ministry. We have to release the cutting words with the heart behind it, that we're going to see someone built up and be edified into the kingdom. So release a sharp word to cut down things, but the motive behind it is not to just to cut someone down or to harm them, but it's to help them, to heal them, and release an element that can create a building in their life. Jeremiah 1:10 says this, I have this day set thee over the nations and over the kingdoms to root out, to pull down, and to destroy, and to throw down. And often we stop there, but that's not the case in prophetic ministry. It keeps going. The next part says to build and to plant. So one of the main natures and characteristics of prophetic ministry is not just to pull down, not just to cut down, but it's to build and to plant. So they went to the Jordan to cut down trees, but their heart was to build. And it was about, because the place was too small, it was about advancement. Again, the heart behind prophetic ministry has got to be about seeing the kingdom advance and seeing the small areas in people's life and speak a word that can bring increase into that area. And so verse 5, but as one was cutting down a tree, the iron axe head fell into the water, and he cried out and said, Alas, master, for it is borrowed. And so the man of God said, Where did it fall? And that's the question, where did it fall? Where did things start coming in? Where did all the cares of life start coming in and start encroaching on your prayer life? Where did that edge, where did you lose your edge? Did it come through traditions of men? Did it come through the weariness of just life and things coming at you from all different ways? And it can happen. Maybe you were in ministry. Maybe you were trying to build for the kingdom, just like the sons of the prophets were. They were trying to build. And in the midst of the building, he lost the axe head. So maybe you were in the midst of building something for the kingdom, and you just kept building, but you weren't seeing the breakthrough. You weren't seeing any trees being cut down. You weren't seeing any fullness of breakthrough and you were just wearing yourself out. It was because you lost your prophetic edge. But I'm telling you, there's good news today. There's good news. You can get your prophetic edge back. And he said, Where did it fall? And he showed him the place. So he cut off a stick and he threw it in there, and he made the iron axe head float. Therefore, he said, Pick it up for yourself. So he reached out his hand and he took it. Notice Elisha didn't go and pick up the axe head. No, the son of the prophet, one of the sons of the prophet, the one who lost the axe head, was the one that had to go get it. So I want to encourage you that no one else can do this for you. You have to be the one and go pick up the axe head. But the good news is that axe head can be found in the river. Come on, somebody. The axe head can be found in the river. And so there's a river of God that's waiting on you. There's a river of His presence that's waiting on you. There's a river of His word that's waiting on you. And you'll find your prophetic edge in the river. So I want to encourage you today to go and get into the river of God. You may have felt dull. You may have not felt as sharp in this past season. Maybe your hearing has not been as sharp as it once was, or you're just feeling dried out and dull. from weariness of ministry and the cares of life and all these things, I want to encourage you to go get in the river, and it's there in the river you'll find your prophetic edge, and you'll start building, and you'll start cutting down and seeing breakthrough even quicker than what you once had, because now you're coming out sharper than what you were before. So Father, I just thank you for those that are watching this or hearing this right now. I thank you that as they're watching and listening, you're stirring up their spirit even now, and that they're going to get into your word, they're going to get into prayer, they're going to get into to study and fasting and fellowship with one another, and it's in that river of your presence that they're going to find their prophetic edge, and they're going to continue to advance the kingdom. And I just release that over those that are watching and listening right now in Jesus' name.